Now, if you're actually thinking about sort of starting a small company, then you've really got to sort of think about whether or not you actually want to run a company, because it's a very different thing. You know, a lot of you are probably are very creative, and you're sort of thinking, right, okay, I'm great at producing this thing. I might be an animator, or I might be a designer, but actually, it's a very different thing actually running a company. It's a lot of people sort of start off with sort of like fantastic ideas, but actually sort of like going into run a company is a very, very different ball game, and you've got to sort of like there's lots of ups and downs. For a start, if you actually you can keep your hands on creatively, as I said, but then when you're actually going out and getting work, you have to be able to pitch for work, which is you have to put a lot of time into it. When we pitch for a project like, say, the British Library work, we actually spent a good few days actually sort of like doing the initial animations things, which you then have to sort of take along to your client, and then you're hoping that they're going to sort of like pick up on you as opposed to someone else. And I'd say probably out of every time that we pitch on a project, probably 3 of those we'll actually fail in getting, and the 4th one we'll actually get. So that's one thing. If you're actually running your own company, you've got to take that into account. The good things for me for actually having my own company as well are, because I've managed to actually focus the direction that we're going into for museums and visitor centres, it keeps me interested. I think that basically, if I'd sort of like just been in a commercial company now and ended up in advertising or something, then I probably would have sort of given up by now. So that's one of the things about actually running your own company. You can decide the direction you're going in, but you do need to have a sort of like a direction that you sort of think, right, okay, this is where I want to go. And the downside is that it's occasionally we've been a bit bigger. We had about 10 people working for us, which is still a really small company, but and we used to get a lot more. We used to occasionally get more commercial work as well, doing websites and so on. But we've gradually kind of moved away from that. But as a small company, it's very hard to actually get big budget jobs, because there'll often be sort of like a bigger company who's kind of like comes in and sort of like takes it away. Even if they like your ideas, it can be really, really hard to actually get those big budget jobs. And the other thing as well is that the doing work, if you're actually going to work in sort of like the kind of sector where I am, or something like that, where you're actually museums and gallery work, you don't have the same kind of budgets as you do if you're actually doing sort of like commercial work, or more corporate work. And the thing is as well is that the people who you get to like working on your projects, for example, the programmers and the illustrators and so on, you've still got to pay them sort of roughly the rate that you would pay them if they were doing an advertising project or something. They might sort of think, right, okay, this is quite interesting, so we're going to do you a sort of slightly slower rate. But basically, people still want to get paid. They still want to get paid sort of roughly the same amount. So you've got that as a sort of like a problem if you want to run a small company. Now, I was only down for a quarter of an hour, is that?
Yeah, no, you've got about 5 minutes.
Oh, right, okay. In that case...
Sorry, yeah, we slipped a bit of time somewhere. Yeah.
In that case, I'm going to show you a bit more of this Carinian project. So I've pretty much said what I was going to say.
Some citizens of Roman Corinium and find out.
So you can see
character to hear them describe the coin they are looking for.
So the process that we went through on this kind of project is actually talking about sort of like people that I met at college. The guy who actually did the original illustrations is actually someone that I went to college as well with at St Martin's. So as I was sort of saying, constantly going back to working with people that you met at college, it's worth our thing.
I am nearly 7. My coin is made of bronze and is a bit of a joke. The Emperor calls himself Master, like he's God's deputy. He wants us to think he's slain the enemy. Find my coin and I'll tell you what really happened.
I can't actually remember which one is his one.
This coin is a solidus, made
You can find extra things in this as well. If you touch on these points, you get this, like, the inscription tells you what it says.
Did you have to cast all the actors in this as well?
Yeah, we did, yeah. So there's actually only about 3 actors that are used in this. Because if you get sort of like good voiceover people, I mean, some of them are hilarious, but you can actually get them to sort of do quite a few different voices.
Touch the coin.
The Emperor is the funniest one. He's the best one to have around.
Touch the front of the coin to see the other side.
So you can flip it
Touch
over.
the coin to hear the inscription.
So we say that's okay.
The right coin. This coin is a centenarius, made of bronze and of low value. It was struck in the red.
By Jupiter! That's my coin! The one showing the Roman soldiers spearing an enemy horseman. Like anyone believed the Romans were still winning.
I, Emperor Constantius II, reigned from 337 to 61 AD. I promised to defeat the barbarians and that the good times would return.
No one believed that. Everyone knew the Roman Empire was losing ground, and the armies were fighting amongst themselves. The Roman Empire was in chaos. During Constantius's reign, a general called Magnentius murdered Constantius's brother and set up a separate empire in the west. It took Constantius a year of hard fighting to defeat him.
Such a character to hear.
Thanks, Andy. That's probably a really good
Yeah.
to finish.
Okay.
Next, we've got Catherine Smith from the Enterprise Centre for